of fishers of men. Matthew chapter 4, 18-20. Mark 1, 16-18. Luke 5, 1-11. And Jesus said to them, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." Understanding the parable, the phrase "fishers of men" may seem unusual at first, but it is rooted in the historical context of Yeshua's, Jesus' time. He called his disciples, many of whom were fishermen, using language they could immediately understand. Historical context: fishing in ancient Israel. The region around the Sea of Galilee was a hub of fishing activity. Fishermen were often hard-working, practical, and resilient qualities that would also be important as disciples of Yeshua. Fishing involved patience, skill, and dedication, much like spreading the message of the kingdom of Yah, God. Calling fishermen first, Yeshua specifically called Peter, Andrew, James, and John, all fishermen, to follow him. They left their nets immediately, signifying their willingness to change their lives and embrace a higher purpose. Their occupation became a metaphor for their new mission: catching souls for Yah. Men who knew Torah. These men grew up with the Torah and had an understanding of what a good teacher should be. They had seen the Pharisees and scribes distort the Torah, using it to control and burden people rather than bringing them closer to Yah. Just as today, many religious leaders teach that the Torah is dead, leading people to rely on men instead of following Yah's commandments. Yeshua called these men because he knew they would recognize truth and follow him when they saw the difference between his teachings and those of the corrupt religious leaders. Spiritual meaning: Yeshua was not just talking about literal fishing, but about spreading the message of repentance and salvation. Fishing for souls. Just as fishermen gather fish from the water, Yeshua's disciples would gather people from all walks of life. It meant bringing people out of darkness, sin, and into the light of Yah's truth. Patient and persistent work. Fishing is not instant, it requires patience and persistence. Similarly, sharing Yah's message and leading people to repentance takes time and genuine effort. How it relates to today. In the modern world, being a fisher of men means being dedicated to living righteously and sharing the truth of Yah's commandments. Challenges in modern evangelism. New Age movements and false doctrines. Many modern churches have become entertainment hubs rather than places of truth and obedience. Messages are often diluted with prosperity doctrines and man-made traditions, straying from Yeshua's teachings. Teachers today often say the Torah is dead, promoting a lawless faith that contradicts Yeshua's example. They encourage people to rely on human teachings rather than directly following Yah's word. Being an authentic fisher of men. It requires living a life of obedience, as Yeshua did, keeping the commandments and being set apart. It's not about gaining followers, but about genuinely transforming lives through Yah's word. Standing against modern Pharisees, today's pastors, preachers, and teachers often mimic the Pharisees of old, focusing on tradition and comfort rather than truth and repentance. Two types of people. As in Yeshua's time, people today can be categorized into two types when it comes to being fishers of men. The genuine fisher of men. These people actively live the teachings of Yeshua. They are humble, obedient, and patient, spreading Yah's word without seeking personal gain. Their focus is on truth and transformation, not fame or wealth. They recognize that being a disciple means sacrificing comfort and embracing hardships for the sake of the kingdom. They honor the Torah, understanding that it is not dead, and that obedience is still required. The self-serving fisher. These individuals claim to follow Yeshua but focus on personal success rather than spiritual growth. They use deceptive messages to appeal to the masses, preaching comfort and prosperity instead of repentance and righteousness. Their goal is to build their own kingdom, not Yah's kingdom. They tend to manipulate the gospel to fit worldly desires, drawing people with false promises. They say the Torah is no longer valid, leading others into lawlessness. Which one are you? Are you the genuine fisher who lives according to Yah's word and draws people with truth? Or are you the self-serving fisher who waters down the message to gain popularity? What Yeshua's example teaches us: Yeshua did not call his disciples to lead comfortable lives, but to take up their cross and follow him. Matthew 16:24. True, fishing for men involves sacrifice, humility, and dedication. It's not about building wealth or status, but about rescuing souls from spiritual darkness. Yeshua showed that truth and obedience are more important than pleasing the crowds. Final thoughts. The call to be fishers of men is a challenge and a commitment. It's about casting the net of truth and guiding people towards righteousness. In the modern context, it means living set apart, standing firm against false doctrines, and prioritizing Yah's commandments. Be the kind of disciple who casts the net with sincerity, bringing people closer to truth and obedience. Are you ready to fish for souls with the truth of Yah's word? Or are you simply casting empty nets for your own gain?